Is there a particular research project that comes to mind that you would say had the most impact on a client?
You know, several years ago, it's a client you guys have never heard of, but they're called Enotis, and they make back-of-the-house equipment for restaurants, for hotels. There's probably Enotis equipment sitting in these halls somewhere that we don't see. We actually got asked by the management and marketing to help them reinvent their approach to the marketplace. One of the things we did is working closely with the client, looking what was happening culturally, and we put a lens on where was the white space for Enotis. What could they own? Where was the opportunity that would beat out their competition? And we realized that they had a green initiative that they used no verbiage in. They didn't talk about it at all. And they had 45% less power intake in some equipment versus others. Now, vampire technology is one of these things. All these things that are on are just sucking energy from the grid. And McDonald's is not in the food business. They're in the real estate business. They need to understand totally, this was 4 years ago we started talking about this, is that their power consumption was going to be a big issue. And then their waste management was going to be a huge issue. It was going to be as important as talking about the new McRib. Maybe not the McRib, but another sandwich. The McRib stands alone. So, literally, it's stand up. If you I think it'll stand there.
You tested that.
I love the McRib. But anyway, the idea, though, was that they had an opportunity to talk about their business in a way that no one in their industry was talking about it. And that's what we did. We actually presented this to 400 salesmen at a meeting in Dallas and led off with this was going to be this green initiative. You know, it's not a hippie thing, but this was not about natural or organic, but it was about steel, and it was about power, and it was about waste, and they bought it, and they realized years later that it changed the nature of their conversation. And so now they didn't have salespeople who were walking into purchasing agents and talking about, let's carve off a couple of points. They had salespeople who were starting conversations with marketing departments. They had salespeople who were going in and saying, I've got something in the back of the house that can translate a message to the front of the house to your patron. You could start talking about energy consumption from a true point of action, not some ethereal place, but true momentum. And I think it changed their business. They actually had 12 products the first year they launched at the National Restaurant Association show. And this year, Kay helped me out, 600 products on that are on that initiative. So it changed the nature of the way they had a conversation.
And you brought that to the table 4 years ago.
Culture Waves did.
Nice.